Hello everybody and welcome back to Europa, where last episode we won a war against Vinland and we've got some coring to do. Let's start by overextension here. Are there any overextension causing provinces left? That's a negative. Okay, so we can just core these as it comes in. We don't need to prioritize anything in particular, really. So that sounds absolutely wonderful, and a lot of these are currently busy building. That's absolutely fine. So that's okay. We will come back to that in a moment. So for now, I want to check through our basilicas here. There's one decent one. Okay, looks good. And then as far as counting houses go, there's a number of these. Perfect. We can also get some town halls building. Cool. So that's probably a lot of these that are building now, if I had to guess. Yeah, every single one of them. That's fine. That's absolutely a-okay. They are not causing overextension. We'll just bank up our admin power, and we'll get that done soon enough. So that is absolutely perfect. We have a lot of naval ships being built at this moment, and that is absolutely expected. There's a core finishing. Perfect. And as these constructions finish, we'll be able to get those done. Okay, let's check in on our colonists here. Yeah, this is fine. Let's check in on our colonists. So this is actually one of these that we need to change. We also lost a military leader, which was this guy. Okay. We'll roll up a new leader there and get him assigned. Perfect. And then this colonist needs to be pulled back and reassigned somewhere. Where do we need to send him? Vassos? Okay. So right here. Perfect. Wait, we already had one there. Hang on a moment. Something's not right here. Okay. Here is where we need to send him. There we go. Perfect. So that'll do just fine. Now, these cores will finish, or actually we can get this one going. These cores will be finished eventually. That's absolutely wonderful. And we've got lots of money on hand right now. So I would like to check in on some of these structures. Universities are kind of where we're planning on putting the majority of our money right now, but we can get a few more constructions going on here. Excellent. Ah, our ruler died. Okay, so 426, that's not terrible stats. Actually, that's okay. That's okay stats. I don't mind that. So we, of course, lost one of our leaders. I think our ruler was leading that army, and that's this one out over here. So let's roll up a new general. There we go. And we're currently at 18 of 16 leaders. Okay, noted. So we're 2 over. Yeah, that's not too bad. So this is absolutely fine. We've got this guy at +4. This is good enough. So our next mill tech is actually the final mill tech, and we'll be ahead of time for a good long time here. So that looks absolutely great. At this point, I'd like to make another core. We'll get that going. Perfect. And we can check in on some of these counting houses. Not too much to be done there, to be honest. Basilicas, there are actually a few of these now. Okay, beautiful. We'll get those done. And we've got another military leader that stopped drilling out over here. Looks good. This guy died, so we of course need to replace him. And then basilicas that are upgrades at this point, right? Let's get these all finished up eventually. Okay, we can see the end of this in sight. That's looking good. And we'll just get all of that queued up. Perfect. These we don't really need at this point. We'll see if they become worthwhile a little later on. We lost another military leader. This is becoming a very common trend. I mean, we've got 18 of these, and they're dying with startling regularity. So we need to get this core going for sure. And we'll be able to get a couple more of these done. 1809, 1809, 1809, 1809. Okay. So these will all be available this year. Understood. We can set an agenda, and we should probably do so. What do we got here? This would be base tax. I don't want to spend admin power on that, ideally. Have a training field for a base manpower. I mean, that's probably not the worst thing in the world. So a training field is here. Done. So that seems fine. We can also seize land, which I would very much like to do. I don't think the Barbaroi hold any land. So it would have to be this, and that looks safe. So good. There we go. Beautiful. And now that these cores are beginning to finish, we can start to make some states. Excellent. We can get this made into a full core. so that can start dropping its autonomy. That'll be excellent. And here's more cores starting to come in. Excellent. We're now down to 0 overextension. No problem there. Let's make some more states. A seat in the Senate? Sure. We're going to need some of those anyway. So that sounds absolutely wonderful. And we can make more full cores here. We should actually probably be prioritizing making these territorial cores because those take time. So that's understood. We'll start working on that. Excellent. Checking in on the basilicas, there's one good one here. This one's actually an upgrade, so that looks okay for now. And then we've got these counting houses. So there are a number of decent counting houses here that we can build. We'll get going on those. We lost another military leader. Like I said, we've got 18 of these. It's not terribly surprising that we're having them die at a fairly regular rate. Okay, now I want to put some money into universities. So it doesn't really matter the order that we build these in. I just want universities, like, everywhere. So that sounds good for now. We can see the progress on this. It's not phenomenal. The blue locations are locations that have a university. So that definitely needs some work. We can't sort by, like, development, unfortunately. Okay, so 25 diplomatic power. Sure, we'll take it. There's our golden era over. Okay, we knew that would happen relatively soon. So what are we at now that our golden era is over for income? It should be pretty high still. Yeah, 551. Okay, that's pretty good. Do we want to side with the Emperor or the Clericoi? I'm going to side with the Emperor. They have the lower amount, so that looks great for now. And we could get this core going, but I'm going to wait on that. What is this? Vinland wants military access for their war with Persia, Kilwa, and Antimoro. You don't need military access to fight those guys. Kilwa, Persia, I don't know where Antimoro is. Oh, that's these guys down here. Yeah, I don't care. You don't need military access for that, Vinland. Get out of here. So we're going to be coring one of these next. This is building a counting house, and basilica. Sure, that's not shocking. So that's absolutely okay for now. We'll get another general in here, get them drilling. Perfect. And let's check in on basilicas. Yeah, we've actually got a few of these that we can build. Perfect. And then counting houses. Now, these that we can build that do not have a building slot available, we know that these are upgrades, so we might as well just do those. This one is not an upgrade, but that's also a very valuable counting house, so we might as well build that. That's all of our counting houses that we can queue up at this moment. We do have a few town halls. We can get those going. Wonderful. That's all of the town halls that we can build for now. And as far as these basilicas go, I mean, none of these are tremendous. So we're going to hold off on those for the moment. And we're probably just going to build additional universities. Cool. So that all looks good for now. We can get some of these cores going eventually. These are going to be done in next year. Okay. I'm actually going to get these full cores done. So at least our autonomy. That looks good for now. So we still have a fair amount of time to grab the next technology. Of course, the game is going to be over in about 10 years. Not about 10 years. It's going to be over in 10 years. So we definitely need to think about that. No doubt about that. We're almost done. So I want these guys drilling. And Vinland, how long on that truce? 1819. That would give us a little under 2 years to fight them one more time. I feel like that's not enough time. I don't think that war would be over before the end of the game. So there's that. Now, checking in on the Great Powers list here, we are still a little bit behind Spain. But, I mean, we're doing very well on that front. We could fight Spain, Spanish California, out over here, and just look to take all of this to at least kick them out of North America, right? That may not be a terrible idea. Now, Spain would definitely defend them, as would, and this is quite a list, Finland, Champagne, Augsburg, Hesse, Austria-Hungary. Sardinia would not, but Spanish West Indies, New Granada, and Spanish Peru. So this is a lot, but we do have a pretty powerful navy at this point. So to that end, I want to check in up over here. We've got this navy, which is intended to be part of our trade fleet. And where is our trade fleet right now? Down over here. I want to merge these together. I hit the merge button, but I don't think we can actually do this. So let's have these guys meet up over in Ecos for right now. Okay, so that'll be fine for the moment. We'll have them meet here. Wow, they got there very fast. Okay, so we're going to have these then perform a mission to protect trade in... They were previously in the Cycladian Isles, 229. I mean, that's pretty significant. Yeah, Cycladian Isles. So this is our trade fleet here, 409. I do want to get a few more into this. So, to that end, we're going to let them head out over here, and we're going to build to the fleet 454 is the total number that we want here. So, like that. There we go. So, we're building the number of our force limit in light ships. This is only light ships, and this is a trade fleet. That is not intended for combat. This fleet here is intended for combat. And that'll take a while to get done. That's absolutely okay. Yeah, you can have a seat in the Senate. That's fine. So at this point, we want to get a couple more of these done, cut down on our expenses, or lose some ducats. I don't care about ducats right now. That's absolutely fine. So that looks good. I want to get these cores done. And then I want to attack Spain, I think. That's going to be the overall concept, and that's probably going to be the last war of this game. So that's understood. We need 117 to core this. We're very, very close on that. So let's get this done. And we're going to have our next military power pretty soon as well. So that's absolutely understood. 2 more month ticks, I think, and then we'll be able to core this guy. So let's get that finished. We're at 401k manpower, so we're maxed there. I missed because this moved on us. Okay, there we go. Excellent. So we'll get these 2 finished up as well. That'll take a little bit more admin power, slightly under 100. It'll take 89. So that sounds good. No debate in the Senate right now, and I'd like to get admin power here. Crownland ownership would not be terrible. Stability? Stability. Okay, national impressment. I think we can probably afford military support, right? I mean, October of 1812 right now? Yeah, I mean, we could do this. We'll see if we need to. We'll mint national coins for now. I don't really love granting church lands here, but it's okay. Bribe the Senate, no thanks. Local autonomy is okay. Praise the national regiments, sure. I don't love doing that, but it's fine. Clericoi, Dynatoi, look good. Revert governmental progress. Actually, this is okay. We can do that. 86 and 20 military power. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Navy tradition, sure. Little bit of prestige. I don't love it, but it's okay. And national conscription. I thought that was going to pass it, but apparently not. That passed it. Beautiful. So that gains us a stability, and we're going to need to think about how we want to do this, right? So mostly we're going to keep our units where they are, primarily. These guys, they're going to move over here, with the intent being to take over Spanish California very quickly. This army, I'm going to move over to here. And this inland army here, I'm going to move down to Baja California. So that's going to come down over this direction. The idea here is these 3 armies should be sufficient to take over this. And if Spain tries to land anywhere mainland, specifically mainland, we'll have armies relatively nearby able to defend our territories there. And then there's this down here. We could make the argument of raising up an additional set of armies. That would cost us military power. I'm going to wait on that for now. And we're also still working on building up our fleets, so that looks relatively okay. But I do want to beat up Spain a bit here, for sure. 100% before the end of this war. Or end of this game, I should say. So we can continue to put more money into potentially basilicas. There's nothing good here, so we'll not do that. We can build a single manufactory, may as well. And then we can build a couple of town halls. And then we can build universities for the time being. So that all looks good for now. And we're just prepping for this war with Spain, which will be declared fairly soon. That's a lot of manpower, but 2.5% professionalism. Our professionalism is almost maxed. So that would reduce our general cost by 50%, and that would be pretty good. I'm going to take the manpower hit for now. We'll get it back very quickly. So that looks good. There's another core finishing. We can almost make this one into a core. We're making a university here, so that's fine. It'll be done in, well, by the time we get this admin power, it'll be done. So that looks good for the moment. We can upgrade great projects. We can upgrade the Hippodrome here, theoretically. And sure, why not? It's cheap. We'll get that going. And we can now grab our max military technology. There's no higher military technology in this game than this. Excellent. So Spain is now definitely not ahead of us in Miltech. In fact, we are ahead of them. And how is our combat fleet doing here? Well, we haven't built many heavy ships at this point. So we have a lot of ships queued for production out over here. That's understood. And that's going to be a little bit spicy in terms of timing. I'm just looking at our current naval force limit. Yeah, it hasn't really changed. So that looks good for now. We lost this military leader. Let's get this guy in and get drilling. Okay, so now our military professionalism is maximized. That means that we are still at -2. General cost, this must be the initial recruitment cost. Okay, so we're going to need to build up our military power a little bit here, but I do want to start recruiting one additional army down over here. So we're going to do that here and here. Okay, we're just about ready for this war on Spain, but we're not quite there yet. So we'll just give ourselves a little bit more time, but I'm going to declare this in the next year or two, for sure. We're just about ready for that. I do want these guys to not be drilling at this moment, but if it's going to be within the next year or two, we may actually want them to drill for a little bit here just to top off their army drill. Something like this. Okay, so here's these two coming in. Looks good. We just lost another military leader. Sure, that'll be this guy. That was 26, okay. And you should be drilling for the time being. Okay, so we'll accept this. That looks good. And then we're going to need to recruit in, of course. That was 25. That's too many. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, there we go. That should do. 2 units of cavalry, and then this should go up to 18. There we go. So that will all be recruiting up, and we're, of course, going to need generals for this. We cannot recruit these at this moment because we need additional military power. We can recruit 1 now. Done. And then for this, do we want to give our ruler military command? Our ruler is pretty decent, actually. So I think probably we don't want to risk our ruler for right now. So we'll just wait on the military power for this. We'll have enough in the next month tick. There we go. So we'll get that going. And at this point, no, I don't want to do no leader. I want this guy here and get drilling. Perfect. So what I want to do now is I want to wait for these armies to be completed. And at this point, we're pretty much ready to do this. So, I mean, we can expand our armies quite a bit more than this, but I don't see a reason to, really. And let's get this core done. Perfect. So that looks great. And we're going to want to pull back our trade fleet, probably, before we do this, and just group our fleet together so that we can sweep out their stuff. But the main problem right now... Oh, we are up to 21 heavy ships. Okay. The main problem is we need a lot more heavy ships, right? So that's definitely a thing that we need. And that's absolutely understood. I want to hop in here and just take a quick peek at, let's see, soldiers' households, state houses. I mean, we could build state houses. This gives possible number of buildings +1, so there's no reason not to build them. So, I mean, this is a viable thing, but they're pretty expensive. For the moment, I want to check in here. Yeah, nothing completely worthwhile there. We can build a town hall, I suppose. And then we've got a few more universities that we can queue up for the time being, which is what I'm going to prioritize for now. They're a little cheaper. So that looks good. We'll put our money into that for the moment. And as we can see, these guys are getting pretty close to being complete. But they're not quite there yet. And they're going to have a lot of drill that they need to build up as well. So we definitely need to wait a little bit, but it's not going to be much. Not going to be much at all. So we're just buying ourselves a little bit of time navally here. I'd love to see more heavy ships coming in. Where's our ship construction in here? It's definitely in here somewhere. Here we go. Okay, so I'm just looking at these heavy ship timers. And yeah, that looks pretty okay. That's ballpark of when I want to declare this. So that is looking good. For now, we can continue to construct universities. This will be fine. We're getting a good number of these built, of course. As we can see, we're making solid university progress. It is slowly creeping across our nation. Excellent. What's our income right now? Yeah, we're still at 550, even with these 2 additional armies. So that's looking great. I mean, we can get another, like, 2 armies. And I'm talking 2 divisions like this. We can get another, like, 4 divisions in total. So that would be great. Local defensiveness is fine for now. But we're just letting our manpower build up a bit. And we're waiting a bit on our Navy. That's our primary wait signal at this point, is the Navy. We are building heavy ships, and the more of these that we can get, the better off we'll be. I'm wondering how many heavy ships Spain has. It's probably a lot. We can see that they have 284 total ships. That's not a lot of total ship count. That's actually a really low total ship count. Okay. Let's check into the Navy ledger on Spain and sort by heavy ship count. So we can see Great Britain, Portugal, Spain has 90 heavy ships. Okay. So that is absolutely noted. To that end, I would... Yeah, we can't build light ships here, or we can't build heavy ships here. That's understood. I would like to get a bunch of these ships completed, for sure. So we're at 26 out of our 50 target at this moment. And we have a lot of light ships. So that's absolutely noted. We can set an agenda here, which is fine. Have a trade depot or stock exchange over here. We have a rampart right now. Let's get rid of that, and let's put in a stock exchange. There we go. So that'll solve that, and then we can seize land. This is good timing? Yes. Okay, perfect. So that'll do. And now, of course, we can check in on our basilicas again, but nothing too much to be done there. Let's put this money into universities. Excellent. So that looks good for now, and we are about ready to launch this attack. I'm just keeping an eye on our heavy ship count over here. Our heavy ships are getting close to finishing. So we at the very least, we want to get a bunch of these done. Now, some of these are a ways away, and that's understood. We are planning to group together our trade fleet and our regular fleet, and just hoping to overwhelm them with sheer numbers and make it very difficult for them to land. But we're also going to oppose their landings when they come in here. We're not planning on directly attacking them, right? That's a lot of ducats. I'm going to take this, and we're probably going to have to debase a little bit to not take a loan. But that's okay. We can root out corruption here. This isn't going to slow us down all that much. It's going to be how much here? Yeah, that's fine. This is absolutely fine income. So I'm not concerned about that. Absolutely wonderful. So at this point, I want to continue to build some of these universities for now. I'm keeping an eye on these construction timers. We've got a few more heavy ships finishing up very shortly here. And we just lost this military leader. This was our admiral. Okay. We already have one admiral. I think we'll keep this one without an admiral for now. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull back our trade fleet, and we're going to have them come in over here. I want to select any light ships that are out here. I want to have them group up over here. Okay, so they're heading back home, and we can see we're down to 132 income right now, and that's understood. So we group all of this together, and we do still have some additional ships being built here, but this is a reasonable fleet here, I think. I would like to have more heavy ships, there's no doubt about it. Having more heavy ships here would be very, very good. Let's queue up a few more, but it's going to be a while before they're done. So I think we're pretty much ready to declare this war on Spain, although we should undrill these guys and give it a couple of months for them to replenish their morale. The others I'm not too concerned about. They'll have to get navally transported, so that's absolutely fine. So there's 1 month and 100 dip power or a stability. I'll take the dip power hit, thanks. So I'm going to give it 1 more month here, and then we're going to declare. This is not quite going to be full, but you can see it's very, very close. So we declare on Spanish California, and yes, Spain would join. Austria-Hungary will join. This is a lot, no doubt about it. But this is going to be to take Baja California, which we'll be able to do very, very quickly. So we'll have ticking war score. There we go. Yes, units are indeed going to be needed for this war. So we're going to head in here like so, and we're going to push in over this direction, and we're going to push in over this direction. Oh, this is not connected. Okay, that's fine. It is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we are going to fight Spain, the #1 power in the world. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.